Today I'm participating in a collaboration named Flower It Up. It's being hosted by Ashley and Amy Martin of Martin Midlife Misadventures. Amy and Ashley are DIYers who live off grid, high in the mountains, and Ashley cooks everything from scratch. So she came up with this wonderful collaboration called Flower It Up to help highlight all the things that can be done with flour. My crispy breaded zucchini slices use only a small amount of flour, but that flour is very critical to their success. This is also a great and delicious way to get rid of any excess zucchini you might have in your garden. This big zucchini actually was in my garden, and it was so big I've gotten 3 meals out of it. So let's get started. All right, I'm going to be making some breaded zucchini that can go in the oven and comes out just as nice and crispy as if you had fried it. So I'm going to start with this zucchini. This will probably do me for a couple meals. I put it on a cast iron grill in the oven, and I just cut as many pieces as fits on that. When I do these breaded zucchini, I like to use a bigger zucchini because you have to turn them over halfway through, and the bigger the zucchini is, the bigger the size of the rings. It's just less fussy. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting this. I'm cutting them about this much in width, I guess. Maybe it's 1/4 of an inch. It's not an exact science. Maybe it is an exact science, but I'm not an exact scientist, so I'm going to cut just a couple more, and then we'll move on to the next step. Of all the steps that you're going to take doing these, and there's not that many steps, the most important one is dredging the zucchini and flour, and then letting them set for about 20 minutes. Something happens and the flour turns into kind of a glue, and then the breading and the rest doesn't fall off of it. Also, I have found that white flour works the best for this. I've tried wheat flour, and I don't know, it doesn't stick as well, so I just use plain white all-purpose flour. So I'm just going to go and make sure that each piece of zucchini is coated, and then I just lay it here on this plate and do it over and over again until they're all done. Then when they're all done, I'm just going to let them set for about 20 minutes. And here they are. Well, these are hanging out here and just setting for about 20 minutes. I'm going to turn the oven to 425 and get the rest of the materials ready. I'm partial to cooking these on a cast iron griddle. You can do them, I'm sure, on a cookie sheet or with parchment paper, or however you want to do it. I think the main thing is to have no sides, so the heat can get on them all the way around without the sides. So a cookie sheet or something flat like this. I know they say that all these cast iron should be seasoned and you shouldn't need to use any oil or anything, but I've never been able to accomplish that, so I am going to use some oil. I'm going to pour some olive oil on this and mix it, not mix it, but spread it. You just want this thing coated with olive oil. Just like that, wherever the zucchini are going to sit. Whatever surface you are using to cook your zucchini on, be sure to either oil it or to spray both sides of the breaded zucchini with spray oil like this. Even if you're using parchment paper, because oiling the pan, any pan, even oiling the parchment paper or spraying both sides of the zucchini will ensure a nice crisp finish and nice browning. And you want this done before you start putting the breading and everything on the zucchini, because they're going to leave, whatever you've breaded is going to go directly on the pan here. So I'm going to be using some of these Italian breadcrumbs from Dollar Tree. Walmart also has them. Walmart is actually a better price for a little bit more, but this is fine. So I'm going to put them in here. I need to add more. Can you see that? Great. And I'm going to be using some sort of liquid for this. You can use eggs. I just use almond milk. I've used regular milk too. I know that this says sweetened and vanilla, but I've never tasted it when I've done zucchini this way. It doesn't matter. I have tasted it, however, when I've made scrambled eggs and added to that, and that is a pretty yucky flavor. But for these, I've never tasted the difference. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it in here. About like that. You can always add more. So I'm going to start the process. I'm going to take my floured zucchini slice, which has been hanging out here about 15-20 minutes, and put it in the liquid, either egg, milk, almond milk, and then put it directly in the breadcrumbs. I want to make sure it's nicely coated. And just like that. I don't know if you can see it better if I do that, but just like that. So I'm going to put them directly on here. And I'm just going to do that again. Dredge it in the liquid, then put it in the breadcrumbs, and then directly on the oiled grill. Here they are, all breaded and on the pan, and we have one last thing to do. I'm going to spray the tops of these with spray olive oil. You can use any oil you want. Just make sure it has a good spray. I found that Dollar Tree spray oils just do not have a good spray, and they fail pretty quickly into the process. I also wanted to point out, if all you have is panko or unflavored breadcrumbs, just add some of that all-purpose seasoning. Here's the Dollar Tree version, Badia, but there's all sorts of them out there. I just mix some of that in with the plain panko or plain breadcrumbs to give it flavoring, because it does really need flavoring. So I'm going to go ahead and spray these right now. And they are ready to go in the oven. Okay, we're getting close to done. It's been about 15 minutes, and I'm starting to flip them. The 4 on the left have been turned already. Those were the ones that side of it was down. And these on the back I still have to turn over. And here they are all done. The second side only took about 10 minutes. And as you can see, they're also nice and brown. I think having that olive oil on the bottom and spraying them really helps with the crispiness. They're equally crispy and equally nice and brown, and that flour trick of keeping the flour on for 15-20 minutes before adding the liquid and the breadcrumbs really helps keep this breading on just fine. And here they are plated and ready for dinner. I personally love to dip these in ranch. So hopefully you will find this a new way, another new way to cook zucchini. If you garden, you know there's a lot of it. And if you live next door to a gardener, you know there's a lot of it. This is really delicious and tasty. And thank you so much for watching.